I am making my third attempt at this video. I'm gonna apologize in advance if it's a little bit choppy. My technology is lagging a little bit, so I'm gonna kind of stop my video after every 5 minutes or so and restart and then chop it all together in one chunk. So I just apologize in advance. But I am talking to you guys today about budgeting. I have some long-term and short-term budgeting goals that I created. It's January and it's a great time to set up some of your goals. You can do this at any time that you are fed up about your finances. For me, that happened in December, and since it was so close to the end of the year, I decided to really sit down and look at what I wanted to accomplish in the next coming year. And so I sat down and I made a list of 10 short-term goals for 2018, and then I made a list for 10 long-term goals, like where I want to be, what I want to have. And so without further ado, I will go ahead and jump into those goals. So here's a list of the goals. I'm going to refer to my papers, so if you see me looking down, I have them printed out. And the place that I keep my financial goals right now is I have a spreadsheet on Google Docs, and I have all my goals posted in its own tab called Financial Goals. And each month as I go back to my budget, I just want to keep my short-term and long-term plans in check. So I like having it there so that I can kind of have everything financial in one location. My first financial goal is that I want to maintain a written budget each month of the year. So for 2018, I want to keep up with the budget. I started budgeting in December, and I made an outline, an Excel spreadsheet where I keep track of all of my outgoing and incoming expenditures. And I want to make sure that I'm updating that every single month. And every single month I know where my money went, I know what I spent it on, and I want to do that for the entire year. My second financial goal is that I want to pay for our baby delivery in cash. I am extremely pregnant. I'm due any day now. But I had insurance when I was a teacher, and I got pregnant while I was teaching, and so I actually lost my insurance because I quit, but because I am classified as having a pre-existing condition, no insurance companies would cover the pregnancy. They would cover the baby's birth after he's born, but they wouldn't cover my portion of the hospital fees. So I have insurance if I get in a car wreck, or I break a leg or whatever, all of that would be insured, but anything that is related to my pregnancy, because it happened before I was on my insurance policy, it won't be covered. And unfortunately, my husband makes too much money for us to have any sort of other financial aid. So I want to pay for the delivery in cash. I paid my doctor's fees in cash, and that was about $1,400. I actually went with a midwife, which wasn't something that I necessarily thought I would ever do, but I have a midwife in my neighborhood who is an amazing woman. She put her grandkids in swimming lessons at my house, and I met her, and I really trust her. She's been a nurse helping doctors deliver babies for a really long time, and I decided to do a midwife at a hospital. So I paid $1,400 for my midwife, and my hospital fees, I called around to all the hospitals in the area, and I found a hospital where I can deliver for $3,000, and that includes a 2-night stay, 3 days. If all goes well, that could be a one-night stay with 2 days, and that would drop it by half to $1,500. And if it isn't a smooth delivery and I have to be there longer, then we have to pay more money. So we're really shooting for that middle ground of 2-night stay, 3 days delivery, and that would be about $3,000. Everywhere else was about $5,400. So we want to pay for that baby delivery with cash. An epidural is going to cost a little bit more money. We have about $3,000 saved up right now, but to have an epidural, my first hour would be $900. Every additional hour after that is around $300. So right now we don't have the money set aside for an epidural, but if I go to the hospital and I decide that I absolutely need an epidural, we might have to borrow from other funds to cover that, or do something along those lines. Okay, our third financial goal for this year, I want to restock our emergency fund. Right now we have $20,000 in our emergency fund. This would be the amount if my husband lost his job and we needed 3 to 6 months savings. We could probably go for 6 months on that $20,000 and be just fine. But we had to borrow from that emergency fund because we had an emergency. Our master bathroom flooded, and we had to take about $1,200 of that out of our emergency fund. And so as soon as we pay for the remainder to have my delivery paid in cash, then we're gonna start restocking back that emergency fund. Our fourth financial goal is that we want to start contributing to our baby's monthly college savings plan. So I believe it's called the 521 that I set up, but it's just the college plan for children that you can set up. And last year when we had baby Edwin, I put $1,000 in his account for his first year, and it's already grown like $121. So that's really cool to see. And that compound interest will just keep growing every single year. And so we want to additionally put in $1,000 when we have this next baby. And then once they are a year and it's their birthday, then we want to have a monthly contribution amount that we put in. It probably won't be $1,000 each year. It'll probably be less than that. But we need to set up, once they hit their 1-year mark, we want to start doing a monthly contribution to their college savings accounts. My fifth financial goal is that we want to transfer our 401ks that we had from previous jobs into Vanguard. So my husband and I both have, as I have my teacher 401k, and he had a previous job that he quit, and then he got a new job. But we both have 401ks that are just kind of sitting there not being managed. And the market is so, I feel like it's going up right now, and it's because of tax reform and just a bunch of other things that are going on in government. I feel like everything is going up, and our 401ks are not being taken care of at all. And so we need to transfer those to Vanguard ASAP so that we can start seeing the rewards of those savings. Our sixth financial goal for this year is that I want to start holding monthly eBay sales. There's 2 reasons. A, we have a lot of stuff and we have a small house, and I want to live simply. I want to really think about all of the items that we have and make sure that they're intentional, that they have purpose. And if they're just cluttering our lives, I want to sell them, and I want to use that money for other things, either to restock our sinking funds in vacation or to start paying down our mortgage, something along those lines. But we don't need all of the clutter, and it will just really simplify our lives a lot if we can get rid of things and we can use that cash towards things that give us more value in life. Okay, goal number 7. I want to have a healthy stash of cash in our sinking funds. So we own a home. It's clear that things are going to happen, like our bathroom is going to flood. Now that I actually have a budget and a written out budget, it makes sense that we would start setting aside money for kind of small disasters that might happen, like a floor flooding, or we have a car, so it's inevitable that we're going to need car repairs. So it makes sense, instead of using our emergency fund for a true emergency, that we have sinking funds set up where we can start saving for upcoming events that might happen, so we don't have to touch that emergency fund. I think a true emergency would be something like my husband losing his job, or a huge medical event that happens that's unforeseen. But those things that are kind of inevitable, we should have money set aside for those. Number 8 is a fun one. It's a fun financial goal. I want to start saving for a family vacation. So my husband and I are trying to put $100 aside each month. And then in October and the fall, we want to take a small family vacation somewhere. By October, we'll have $1,000. It should be enough to last us for 3 or 4 days to go somewhere fun. And we're kind of thinking a staycation, since we'll have 2 little ones and we don't want to drive super far. But I think it would be fun to go somewhere and new. There's a farm that we've stayed at before, and we kind of thought the little kids might enjoy seeing the animals. It's like a bed and breakfast. It's super cute, and with $1,000 we could stay there, and we could also do some of the local activities around the area, and so that could be something that we want to do and save for. My 9th financial goal is I want to make money from YouTube someday. I really, really want to pay off our mortgage early, and if I could actually have a little bit of an income from YouTube, that'd be awesome. I love YouTube. I love watching, and I get so inspired by watching other people on YouTube, and I just kind of wanted to try this out to see if it is something where I can stay home with my babies and I can still kind of do this on the side, and it's something that I like. I enjoy it. My 10th financial goal is that we want to put aside $10,000 this year towards our mortgage. So in order to do that, we have to really, really cut our budget down. In the summer, I teach swimming lessons. We have a pool in our backyard, and I'm really hoping that I can make a lot of supplemental income that will make it so that we can hit that $10,000 mark. So if we could pay $10,000 for extra on our mortgage each year for 10 years, we'll have our mortgage paid off in 10 years. So that is a great segue into my 10-year financial goals, where I want to see myself in 10 years. Okay, so our 10-year financial goals. In 10 years, I want to have a paid off mortgage. I am really hoping that we can, either through the pool business, YouTube, all of our supplemental incomes, I'm really, really hoping that we can have our paid off home mortgage. That's important to me because my husband feels obligated to make a certain amount of money to support his family, and if we could have a paid off home mortgage, that would give him so much freedom to explore job occupations that he wants to do instead of feels obligated to do. Number 2, in 10 years, I want to be heavily investing in our retirement. This probably needs to happen before 10 years. We need to really put 15% of our income into retirement, as Dave Ramsey suggests, but I don't know how to do that. It's something right now where we don't have. My husband has a great job right now, but he doesn't have a retirement plan, so we need to open up a Roth IRA and put his earnings into that. But I know in theory what I need to do, but I don't know the process of how to do it. So I'm sure I will YouTube about that at some point as I figure out how to actually do that. What's I want to research everything from what's the best investment company to, how we want to allocate our funds. And I want to be involved in that process so that I understand investment. And that needs to happen before 10 years, but in 10 years, I want it to be, I want our investments to be very well managed. It's something that is rolling. We're heavily investing. We have a good system set up for that. So by 10 years, that is something I want to have done. My third long-term financial goal is that I want my husband and I to both be in occupations that we love. I want to have, if we have a paid off mortgage, like I was saying, that would give us both freedom to explore avenues that we love instead of feeling obligated to be in a job. We could do things that are fun for us. And right now, YouTube is something that I'm really loving, but who knows where that's going to go in 10 years, But I especially want that for my husband. I want him to be in something that makes him happy every day. Savings, long-term goal number 4. I want to make sure that my husband and I are contributing to our children's college admission funds. So through our religion, our boys, we kind of want them and encourage them to serve a 2-year mission where they will go out and serve and bring people to Christ. And Eddie and I, my husband and I, we definitely want to be a big support for them to do that financially. If it came, we kind of feel like college funds, yeah, those are important, but I myself worked through college. Eddie had funded college through his parents, and so we kind of want to do a mixture of both. I feel like I would like to help my kids, but I also kind of think it's okay for them to learn how to have a job and to work really hard in the summers to pay for college. But one thing that I really would like to have for my kids would be their mission funds completely paid for, so that that could be something that they could do, that they can go out and serve people and just bring them to Christ. That's important to our family. My 5th 10-year goal is by 10 years I want to have a good life insurance policy set up. This is something that we should probably do as soon as possible, but again, I don't know how to do it, and it's just something that, because I don't know how to do it, I'm scared to do it, and I just haven't done it yet. And so I'm sure I will also be making a video about how to set up life insurance and all of the things that I research in that process, because I want to pay a ton for life insurance, but I also want to have a good coverage. And so I know Dave Ramsey suggests Xander life insurance, or I think it's a search engine that points you to the best and cheapest life insurance policies. And so I need to look into that probably sooner than 10 years, but by 10 years I for sure want to have a good life insurance. Okay, and my 6th financial goal is that I want to have a detailed will in place. Right now my husband and I, we kind of have a little written document that says, if we were to pass away, that my brother would probably be first in line to take our children, and then after that, my husband's sister. And if we were to pass away, I think that they recommend that the children go to one family, and the finances are, your financial aspects should be held by a different family. So I think we have it set up that our kids would go to my brother, and then I have a brother-in-law who's a CPA, and so we've asked him if we were to pass on to handle our financial aspects. It's not a true will, like it's more of like a written kind of our written out agreement with them. We probably need to go and have like a legal documented how it should work out. We would definitely want to leave all the money, you know, from our assets and homes and cars and everything to our children if we were to pass on. But yeah, but I do want to have a detailed will at some point, just because it's something that brings peace of mind, and to know that if something were to happen to us, we have it all taken care of. Our seventh financial goal is that by 10 years, my husband and I want to go on a fully funded anniversary cruise. And right now I have a little bit of money that I put aside when I was in college into a CD, and it's been growing over the years. And now that we have our additional savings plan, that CD is just kind of like, I started it in college before I was married because I wanted to have something in place in case something happened. And right now we have a bunch of other things in place financially for our growing family, and I just thought, how cool would that be in 10 years if I can use that money that I put aside when I was young to actually go on a anniversary cruise. That's where we went on our honeymoon, and I think it would just be really fun to revisit that. But I definitely want to save for it, pay for it all with cash. And so that's a financial goal, a long-term goal. So as that money grows in that account, and it keeps accruing more money, by the time 10 years comes around, I just think that would be a really special anniversary. My eighth long-term financial goal is that I want to be in 10 years teaching our children how to budget. We'll have an 11-year-old and a 10-year-old in 10 years. But I want to be teaching them simple concepts like a tithe, how to pay a tithe, how to save some of your money, you know, how to work for money. And I definitely will research a lot of Dave Ramsey material for how to teach children, like the Smart Money kids workbooks. I haven't bought any of those, but by 10 years, I really want to make sure that I understand how to teach my children about finances, about goal setting, about saving money, so that they can at least have the tools to know what they should do when they're our age. I've seen my parents. My parents are amazing budgeters, and they're so frugal. But I don't necessarily, like, I didn't know how to create a budget, and I had to watch YouTube videos for a lot of those things, and I'm 30, and I think it would be really cool to kind of like teach my children that concept early on. My ninth financial goal for in 10 years, if our house is paid off and we are out of that debt, I think in addition to investing heavily in our retirement plan, it would be really cool to start saving money to buy real estate and have rental properties. In 10 years, the home that we live in right now, it's a single story, it's 3-bedroom. It's perfect for our little family, but in 10 years, this would make such an ideal rental home. And so that's kind of something that we'd be thinking about, is starting to save cash to buy a rental property. Or either a property that we could live in ourselves, or something that we could rent out to somebody else to live in, and just diversify our investments. And our last financial goal for 10 years, my husband and I were kind of doing something that Dave Ramsey wouldn't really approve of, but we do in fact don't tell them, but we do in fact have a credit card. And we're very careful about our spending on our credit card, but each year we make about between $700 to $800 off of our cash rewards that we get back. It's a teacher credit card that I had when I was teaching, so it's a really good reward back system. And my husband and I, we kind of decided that if we keep our credit card and we take advantage of those cashback rewards, and we don't spend that cash back, we want to, in 10 years, we want to take our kids to Disney World. And so right now that account has about $500 in it, and we depleted it sometime last year before we set goals, but now we have a goal that says, no, let's keep that accruing each year, and let's go on a family trip to Disney World. Now, by 10 years, maybe we won't have that credit card anymore, and we won't have that savings. Maybe we'll kind of get on board and realize that Dave Ramsey's right and cut up our credit card. But at the current time, we still have it, and we're kind of saving it for that Disney World vacation that I think would be so fun to take our little boys to when they're around, age 10. We'll have a 10-year-old and 11-year-old, like I said. So I just think that would be such a fun age to go on that sort of trip. So those are our long-term and short-term financial goals. And I really hope that this video inspires you to start thinking about what you want to do with your money and be intentional about how you want to spend your money and save your money. And if you have any questions, I would love to answer them. I am not an expert by any means, but I have done a lot of research about, and I know what I should do as far as the Dave Ramsey plan goes and everything like that. So if you have any questions, if I don't know how to answer them, I'll direct you to somebody who's much better than I am at answering questions, but if I do, I would love to answer those for you. So take care and have a good one. Bye.